Hi. So somebody asked in my previous video how I get my hair to lay down, to slick back without any residues whatsoever. And I decided I should make a video about that because I am not actually going to be using any heat on my hair, and also I'm not going to be using any gel. That's why there's no residues. I am only going to be using water. So let's begin. So my hair is very, very wet because I just washed it, as I said, but I wouldn't suggest you start this off with hair looking like this. I'd rather you just let it dry. First of all, put it in plaits because those stretch out hair are better than twisters, at least in my opinion. It just takes forever for my hair to dry. I washed it yesterday and it's still very, very wet. But I'm just going to challenge myself and see if I can still do this without plaits and also with very wet hair. I wasn't actually planning on doing this video, so these twists are from when I was detangling my hair when I got finished. And then today in the morning I thought, you know what, let me just try and do this and see if it works. But hopefully my hair is a little bit stretched out. So I have some water here, but I don't think I'll be needing it much because my hair is very, very wet, as you can still see. So I don't think I'll be needing it as much as I would if it was dry. Alright, so now I'm going to begin detangling.
The white residue you're seeing is just leave-in conditioner. There's nothing else I have done to the hair, no extra products since washing it.
The roots aren't as stretched as I would like them to be, so it's kind of hard to get down there. But if I did plaits, this wouldn't have been an issue. But you know, whatever. So I'm now just realizing that this was a big mistake. Me unraveling every bit of my hair should not have been the case because now I am doing a shrinkage. And if you have short hair, you really need the extra length. So I'll probably advise you just unravel the part that you're working on, finish with that, and then move on to the next part, unravel that part, finish with that, just like that. But we've already done it, so we're here. We are going to have to deal with the consequences and probably just try to work a little bit faster so that it doesn't all shrink because my hair can really shrink. I don't really mind it, but for a style like this, you need the length. So.
Working in sections, I go in with a white tooth comb to firstly detangle, and then after that, that's when I use the brush. And then I also go in with a brush to make sure that the hair is fully detangled before I start brushing it backwards, because you don't want undetangled hair being pushed backwards. That's too much tension. You want to make sure it's detangled first. And if the brush cannot go through, just remove the brush and then start combing from the tips. We are not here to fight our hair at all. And I also hold on to the bottom part of my hair when brushing because I'm very tender-headed.
So this part seems to be a little too big, so I just made another smaller section just so I can just run through that much more easier. Sometimes you may have to do that because if you take such a big chunk, it's going to be hard for you to detangle. So to make it quicker and just much more pleasant, try to use smaller sections. Watch this. If you told me years back that a brush can actually pass through my hair, I would just laugh at you and move on to better things in life because why are you mocking me? I always believe that brushes are not meant for my hair at all. They don't do anything, they don't go through, they don't just, I can't use them. But if you actually try to, as I said, learn about your hair and also try to make sure you invest in figuring out what will make your detangling sessions easier, it helps a lot. Also, please, living, deep condition, living, deep condition. All the time, that helps me a lot. I'm still struggling right now, but it could have been worse if I wasn't putting in leave-in, also using a deep conditioner from time to time. I try to do it every wash day, which is around 1 week or 2 weeks. Lately, I've been very, very lazy to be honest with you. So it's been like 2 weeks, not one. But I'm trying to get back to 1 week.
An important thing to remember is to work in sections and not to try and grab all the hair at once, especially if you have thicker hair than mine. That's not going to work. I also leave out the hair near my edges because I don't want tension there so early. I try to save that for last.
Now, this is why it's going to be a little bit more challenging because my hair is actually shorter here than it is at the back. And so to pull this all the way to the back, we are going to try a little bit harder because you can see that's why it's not really going in there. So normally what I do is just brush it as much as I can just to stretch it out the most so that when it goes back, it somehow hits the mark, but not really. And even if it doesn't, all we're going to do is just pull this up a little bit so that it meets the hair. So essentially, how low my bun is dependent on how long my hair is. The longer, the lower.
And this was the first time I noticed my one strand of gray hair. I'm older and wiser. Anyway, I push this back with a middle part. Again, going from one section to the other, brushing it down while detangling. There's going to be a lot of tying and untying. This is the first time I'm spraying some water, but if your hair was dry to begin with, this is what you should have been doing from the beginning. As I got to the end, my hair sort of dried out. If you have edges, this is your next step. Just try to brush the hair back. And also, if your hair is too short, your bun gets lifted a little bit. You really want to make sure that you brush your hair in there because sometimes even if your hair is shorter, just the fact that you have one strand that is shorter in between two strands that are longer will help it stay put. So make sure you brush it together. Now I know you see that I'm missing some edges, but this is something you should do if you have edges. So for everybody else that does have edges unlike me, this would be your next step. You're just going to continue working in sections, detangling, brushing it down and putting it in the bun. Now this is why this fails to work for me, because you can clearly see my board spaces and we don't want that. So this is the little hack that we're going to use. Well, first of all, we're going to spray some water on our edges and also everywhere else around the hair. Then come out the puff and untie it. And don't worry so much about the hair puffing up. All the brushing back we've been doing so far has kind of held it in place, so we're good. Now you want to brush your hair over your edges and not just take it back. Now this part is something you want to keep repeating every time before going to bed. This is really a low maintenance style and I have gone up to 8 days. Today was my last 8th day. I just washed my hair. Just tie your hair up to ensure that everything stays in place. All you have to do is wrap your hair up at night and in the morning take it off and you're ready to go. And every other day, if the hair is sticking up a little bit, all you have to do is just spray a little bit of water on top or leave-in conditioner and then brush it up. You don't even have to take it out of the puff. And once you're done, it will be just as late as this first day. I was imagining myself in a cafe somewhere just reading a book and looking cute. Anyway, I'm sorry for the change in lighting. We had a power cut, just another regular day here. You can go on and do your edges with some gel if you like, but a lot of gels do not work for my hair, so I'm not doing that. Anyway, let me know if you would try this. Until then, see you in a cafe somewhere.